Two people earn the exact same amount of money, same city, same age, same opportunities. 10 years later, one owns assets, has options, sleeps better. The other feels like they've been running on a treadmill that slowly became steeper every year. No dramatic accident happened. No gambling. No luxury addiction. No terrible decisions. Just normal life. And that's what makes this dangerous. Because the biggest wealth killer isn't usually a crash. It's something quieter. Something people almost never notice until years later. Today we're talking about the silent wealth killer. Not inflation. Not debt. Not bad investing. Something more uncomfortable. Lifestyle expansion. And before you click away thinking this is another lecture about coffee purchases, it isn't. Because this isn't about spending too much. It's about how modern economies quietly train people to spend every gain they ever earn. And once you see it, you start noticing it everywhere. Imagine your life as a bucket. Income pours in, spending drains out. Most people believe wealth comes from making the water pour faster. Get promoted, work harder, increase income. Makes sense, but there's a hidden rule. If the holes grow at the same speed, the bucket never fills. That sounds obvious. But real life hides this process so well that people mistake motion for progress. Here's how it starts. You get your first salary. Maybe it isn't huge, but compared to before, it feels incredible. You upgrade your phone, order more food, take more rides. Nothing extreme. Then income increases. Suddenly your standards increase too. Now economy seats feel annoying. Subscriptions multiply. A larger apartment starts feeling reasonable. Things that once felt luxurious become normal. And the strange part? It never feels like excess. It feels deserved. That's the trap. Economists have studied versions of this idea for decades. People adapt incredibly fast. Income rises. Expectations rise. Satisfaction resets. Psychologists sometimes call this hedonic adaptation, which is a technical phrase for humans are weirdly talented at turning dreams into defaults. The first time someone earns more money, they feel rich. The fifth time, they feel behind. Not because they failed, because the reference point moved, quietly, again and again. Now here's where this becomes dangerous. Imagine someone earning the equivalent of $1,000 a month. They save 20%. Good start. Income doubles. Now they earn $2,000. You'd expect savings to explode. But often, expenses rise almost proportionally. Better house, better habits, better expectations. Maybe savings go from 20% to 22%. Income doubled. Life barely changed. That extra earning power disappeared into upgrades. Not because someone was irresponsible, because spending scales automatically, and economies quietly encourage it. Think about modern advertising. Notice something strange. Ads rarely sell products anymore. They sell identities. This phone means ambition. This car means freedom. This apartment means success. This watch means you've arrived. It's less, buy this, more, become this. And if identity becomes tied to consumption, earning more no longer creates freedom. It creates maintenance. Now your lifestyle becomes a machine that requires constant feeding. That machine never sends invoices. It just quietly raises your monthly obligations. And this creates one of the weirdest financial illusions. People become richer, but feel poorer. You've probably seen it. Someone earning 10 times more than before still says, "I don't know where my money goes." That sentence sounds irrational. Until you realize expenses expand like gas. They fill available space. Income increases. Commitments increase. Stress remains. There's quiet irony in this. The thing people chase for freedom can slowly remove flexibility. More salary, less breathing room. Now zoom out. This isn't only personal. Entire economies depend on this behavior. Consumer spending drives growth. Businesses want customers upgrading. Banks want borrowing. Housing markets reward bigger budgets. Companies reward visible success. Everything works better when people keep moving upward. And upward usually means consuming upward. Nobody sits you down and says, "Please increase your lifestyle." You absorb it. From coworkers, friends, algorithms, social feeds, neighborhoods, comparison. One day your baseline becomes someone else's highlight reel. Then your own life starts feeling insufficient. Here's the uncomfortable math. Suppose person A increases spending every time income rises. Person B lets spending rise slowly. Nothing extreme. No minimalist fantasy. Just slower. After years, the difference becomes absurd. Because wealth isn't created by income. It's created by the gap. The space between earning and needing. That gap buys investments, time, opportunities, margin, and margin compounds quietly, just like lifestyle does. That's why small spending increases can become enormous over long periods. Not because each purchase matters, because habits become infrastructure. And this creates another strange effect. Lifestyle expansion becomes invisible. People notice losing money. Nobody notices losing capacity. You don't feel poor buying one better subscription, or moving slightly upward, or financing one nicer thing. But eventually, your future income already has assignments, months before you earn it. That's when people start saying things like, "I can't afford to take risks," not because they lack income, because they lost flexibility. Their life became expensive to maintain. And none of this means living cheaply. That misses the point. Money exists to improve life. The question isn't, did spending increase? The question is, did dependency increase? Because there's a difference between choosing a bigger life and needing a bigger life. One creates options. One removes them. Look around. Some people look wealthy. Others quietly build wealth. Those are not always the same group. One optimizes appearance. The other protects flexibility. One scales lifestyle. The other scales distance from obligation. From the outside, they can look identical until pressure arrives. And maybe that's the most uncomfortable part. The silent wealth killer doesn't announce itself. It doesn't crash your portfolio. It doesn't send warning emails. It doesn't appear on bank statements. It slowly changes what feels normal, year after year, until one day, you realize you earned more than ever, but somehow became harder to free. So here's the question. If your income doubled tomorrow, how much of it would actually become yours? And if the answer feels smaller than expected, what exactly has been collecting the difference this whole time?